A JavaScript program is made up of a series of statements, and each statement ends either with a semicolon or a new line. Let's see some examples. If I have a variable here, and we're gonna get into variables later on, in a bit actually, but just follow along for now, and call it hello world, for example, and that's gonna be equal to a string, so single quotes, and in here I'm gonna say hello world like so. And I'm not gonna have a semicolon here, and then I'm gonna have something else on a new line. I'm gonna have that console log, and I'm not gonna type it out every time. I have a snippet for that because I use it often, and you should as well. You should have snippets for stuff you use often in your editor or IDE. So I'm just gonna do JL, and that's gonna give me console log. And here I'm gonna just say hello like so inside of single quotes. And I'm gonna get rid of the semicolon. So if I go to index.html here, I can see hello here from that console log, and this here isn't getting printed out because this is just a variable and it's not being printed out, so that's fine. But there are no errors, and this all works because these statements end with a new line. So this is one statement and this is another separate statement. You can also use semicolons and then, for example, have both of these statements on one line. So if I copy this and paste it here and have a semicolon, and then copy this console log, paste it there, have a semicolon, and just comment out these two lines, Control// in VS Code. And now when this refreshes here, I still get hello, so it's the same as before. So there's no need to use a semicolon to terminate the statement, but it's best practice to actually use semicolons because not using them doesn't always work as expected. So this should actually be written like so. Each statement should be on its own line and ended with a semicolon. That's best practice. So how come it's not necessary to add semicolons? That's because JavaScript interpreters use a process called automatic semicolon insertion, or ASI, which attempts to place semicolons at the end of statements for you. So it usually works out, but sometimes it doesn't. And just to avoid problems and have cleaner code, you should simply have semicolons always at the end of statements. Lastly, I just want to mention that there are reserved words in JavaScript that can't be used as variable names or function names or whatever. And there's a bunch of those, so let's just Google them. I'm gonna search here for JS reserved words and go to any link, let's say here W3 schools, and here they are. Okay, so there's a bunch of words in here that are reserved, and we're gonna use most of these throughout the course, so you're gonna see it makes sense that they cannot be used for something else, such as variable or function names. And there are also a few words that aren't reserved but should be treated as if they were, and those are undefined, nan or nan, and infinity, which we're gonna work with later on. Okay, that's gonna be it for this video. See you in the next one.